I know. Ready, Dr. Robertson?
Yes, sir.
Wait, I got one more thing. Okay. Ready when
You
you
ready?
are.
Okay, we will call the meeting to order. Starting out with our discussion of our board agenda, we will be adding 3 delegations, Heather Modrow, Angela Favrello, and then Rebecca Casey, to our delegations. Do we need to add anything else?
I think
Dr.
Justin
Robertson?
has-
Yeah,
Dr.
so
Robertson
we're
had
going
some
to
things
be
he
adding
wanted to add.
2 items. One of them on Wednesday, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office is taking a resolution to County Commission to transfer some funds to our budget to add additional SSOs. They're having difficulty staffing, not just SROs, but across the board. And so Sheriff-elect Garrett and I have been speaking, and he recommended a similar situation to what we had a few years ago, where we were actually sending them funds for SROs. It's just a reverse of that. So this will help us get to where we've got coverage and a little bit of overlap in all schools. I think it's somewhere around 593,000, but the memo will have the exact number on it.
I just have a question about that. Are they going to send us money as we hire someone, or they're going to go ahead and just go ahead and fully
My
fund it?
understanding is
Okay.
they're going to go ahead and send it. So there's a little bit of complexity to it moving forward, in that similar to what we were doing, it's a year-to-year thing. What we feel like we can do moving forward is handle it in a couple ways. Number one is just simply if they hire 3 or 4 more and they don't send us as much next year, is just through attrition, we could absorb some of that. Where we do know that through TISA there's some additional fundings coming for school security, and we may just decide to hire more than we need, so that we've got overlap in some of our larger schools, and then that way when people take vacation, sick days, that we've got coverage. But that is something we've got to think about moving forward, is it's not a set amount going in perpetuity, that it's year to year. And this second thing, County Commission several weeks ago approved a number of items through their ARP funds for specific projects on school property. So we're going to bring that just for you guys to approve, accepting those. We're still working with County Finance on how to expend it and how that money is going to work in terms of if they're sending it to us or they're going to reimburse us. So we've got to work through some of that, but we really need the board to approve us accepting those funds before we can move forward. And we'll have a list of all the projects in the memo.
And I need to talk to you after it's over with, ask you about the other money that I talked to you about.
Yes, ma'am.
Did every district get a project funding?
Not every district, and I mean,
Yeah, I
you
know
would have
that
to ask
she's a-
other
these are-
people's
yeah, so
specifics.
That was my next question, or kind of comment, is the commission pulled this list out of their own hat, right?
So some of the projects
No,
came from
it's-
things that were
No.
on different lists from small bucket items. But then my understanding is that there were some commissioners that spoke to board members and principals and things like that.
Joe did, mine didn't.
Tiffany, my county commissioner, Commissioner Smith, there's good people everywhere. He called me and told me to reach out to all of my principals and to have them make a wish list. And so that's what we did. And I'm a little surprised. I think Rhonda's maybe didn't. Sounds like maybe yours didn't either. But that's it. Yeah, that's how.
Yeah, no worries, I was just curious, yeah.
Let's
Oh, I'm
speak
pointing
in. Let's speak into our microphones.
Doesn't bother me at all.
for the live stream.
Yeah,
Yep.
doesn't bother me at all to point fingers. Yeah, because I'm going to be interested to see the final list, but.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see the list too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
We'll try to get that emailed out to you.
We just want people to know it's not us, because I don't want to point the finger at me. I'm going to point them where they need to be.
And I don't think that those funds have been expended. So it might be an opportunity for you to go to your county commissioner once the new commission is seated and make a plea. I mean, that's what I'd recommend to you. Because I know that all that, I wouldn't think it would all be expended.
Okay, we will add those two as well as the delegations to our agenda. From there, we'll have our pledge, our exemplars of excellence, our presentation, anything on any of that. No? Okay, that will move us down to the approval of the consent agenda. Approval of minutes, executive committee report, field trips, chief financial officer, financial reports, budget amendments, and then the grant application request. Anything out of those?
The grant application request, the Innovative Schools Model Grant, just wanted a little bit of, just an overall view about exactly what's going on. I saw the amount of money, exactly what is that going to do?
Yeah, so each high school is given $1 million regardless of size, and middle school is $500,000. And there's kind of a series of things that they need to be going for, but most of it is towards career and post-secondary.
Is this just for training classes? Is this for equipment? What exactly is it for?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that they can put in there.
Okay,
Some,
oh, they can
yes.
put it in, okay.
So we are allowing, it does allow for facilities, but only at 10%. So really it's about redesign. We really ask our schools to kind of reimagine. We get this much money over the next 4 years, what would we want to look like in 4 years? And we're focusing on engagement strategies, looking a lot at the middle school, really trying to enhance our middle schools, kind of connect them to some of their future aspirations. But it's a massive process that we're working through really, really quickly. We've given some guidelines to the schools, and then we're letting them really innovate.
Okay, so I don't know what the guidelines were. Okay, thank you.
Anything under the consent agenda? We might be setting a record here.
Let me, I want to ask them a question. I just don't understand the terminology, but the tap sheet locker projects, what in the world is that?
It's a bid sheet for a company for us when we have locker repairs.
Oh, okay,
or
okay.
any locker work, so it's just
Okay, so it's just a template?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, that will bring us down to administrative business matters. You have 2 things for tenure on there. Anything about that? Okay, then we'll go down to board matters. The request of a new position, youth apprenticeship and work-based learning facilitator. Any questions about that? I believe that is it grant funded? Grant funded.
Yes, and I asked Justin about this the other day. That when these positions are grant funded, if that includes all of the like the health insurance and everything, and he said that it did. And this grant, how long is this position for? How long is this grant for?
It's through Perkins, so we get
Yeah.
Perkins dollars
Every year, so
every
this will be a reoccurring.
As long as the
As long
Perkins
as the
dollars are
Perkins-
there.
okay.
And again, it's looking at the, apprenticeship and work-based learning, which, we continue to say we need to press on.
Yeah.
And so we hope that it's going to better connect us with business partners and community members that will help us with those apprenticeships and work-based learning models. So that's.
So this
the
is out of the
intent.
Perkins money we were already getting.
right.
We didn't get additional Perkins just for this.
No,
Okay.
it's not mine, I don't think. Looking at Olivia.
So our original Perkins dollars amount was $850K. We received a reallocation at the
Okay,
which is
that's
where
what I was
this is
wondering.
coming from.
Because I wondered what had changed if you'd cut another position or added this one. So this is additional dollars. Okay,
That we found out at the beginning of this year in reallocations.
okay, thank you.
I think I want to add too that like TISA is really prioritizing these initiatives. And so I think we can imagine more revenue flowing in this direction for sure, to do these sorts of things. And these particular initiatives, work-based learnings and apprenticeship, right now are not EPSOs. And I know Olivia is having conversations with the state all the time about these kind of engagements being qualifying for EPSOs for us,
Thank you.
which goes towards Ready Grad.
Okay. Anything else on that?
I'm actually curious, like, do we know more about TISA at this point? Have we received, like, any additional information from the state?
I know that there's been, I think there's something that came out today, or they've been having
Okay.
additional hearings, but nothing concrete. I think they're still just revising drafts on that.
Okay.
So they're having hearings around the rules and how it's
Come on in
taken
here,
from there,
Bill.
but we've gotten not a lot that's concrete.
Okay.
We're coming on time.
Do you have any questions about anything, Dr. Wingate? Because we're at the end of the agenda, so.
Uh,
Okay.
I'll bring you up. That was our practice round.
That was practice round.
uh,
Mr.
Okay, whenever you get to the end, I just want to ask something. I've already talked to Justin about it, but I want.
Yeah, if we don't have anything under legal services or events and announcements, then we are good with that. You can, Ms. Sermon?
Okay, yes, I talked to Justin about this the other day. Still have some issues about the new salary scale. And I'm going to bring Justin some examples, I guess, of some people that just got an 87-cent raise in the office at some of the schools. Are you saying yes? Has anybody else had any?
I haven't heard anything.
You haven't
about
heard
that.
anything from any of your people? Well, I think you need to ask what kind of raise some of these people got. I think something we need to look at. And then they said they weren't going to get any step raises for the years of there. I have a question about that as well. But I just didn't know if anybody else had gotten any so you might want to ask and see, because we need to fix this while we're fixing it. We need to be sure it's fixed, because right now I don't think it is. I think it's something else we might need to revisit a little. Okay, thank you.
Wow, you're so efficient.
I know. You'll miss
We're
me
gonna
when
miss
I'm
you.
gone.
We're gonna miss you.
No, we had one agenda session that was like 7 minutes.
7
We were in
minutes.
and out, yeah.
That's where I ran it.
Yeah. No, I was here for that one. I was here for that one. I was here for that one. It was Valentine's Day, yeah. So, no other questions? You didn't have anything? Dr. Robertson, meeting schedule?
I just put this on here just for public record. We've had multiple conversations about, the flow of meetings and how we do it. Went back to TSBA a number of years ago, recommending that we don't meet as much. We weren't meeting on Mondays, and we were meeting on Mondays, and so just put it on here for us to consider. Technically speaking, spoke to Scott about this. Executive committee can, change meetings without a board vote. What I've spoken to a number of you guys about is the possibility of just going to a Thursday, not necessarily doing away with the agenda session, starting a little bit earlier, having an agenda session with public comment, and then going right into the regular business meeting. I think there are several, positives to doing that. Number one, you're hearing public comment before we even discuss in an agenda session topics. Would get them right up front. So that we're hearing them before discussion or even voting. And also, I think just consolidating it into Thursday would improve conversations, encourage more dialogue, and hopefully be a little bit more expedient.
It would be the city council basically has the same.
City council has similar model. Number of school systems
Yeah, do the
across
same.
the state do similar models to that. I don't think it's a big change, because you still have the business meeting Thursdays at 5:30.
Ask a question about that.
Mr. President.
As you described that, if public comment comes in the agenda meeting, and we have basically whatever announced our board meeting at 5:30, but we've seen sometimes public comment can take a long time. Is there an effect on the legal announcement of our board meeting if the time is extended? Okay,
No.
not an issue.
No, what I
Okay.
would do is put whatever time you decide to start and just put that the business meeting would start immediately
Okay,
thereafter.
perfect, all right.
Ms. Thurman?
Yeah, what about, and I know we do a lot of presentations. That's one thing that takes us meetings a little bit longer. Is it necessary for every meeting, or do we just need to have them, or do we just need to have those presentations as needed, or what do we
Yeah, I
need
think
to
it's
do?
as needed, and I should have mentioned that as well. I think we would probably move those to the agenda session as well, just because a little bit less formal. We still like positive coming out of the pandemic, we still live stream even this meeting, right? So everything is out there for the public, for people to go back. You know, when we started doing the presentations, it was before we were live streaming these meetings, so we were doing them on Thursday because you get a little bit more public access. So we would move those presentations. I hope that you've noticed we've tried to be more concise with our presentations, and so we'll continue to work on that. And Shannon will be up for the test on Thursday.
She talks fast.
Not sure how concise.
We went to Monday nights because we hoped it would speed up Thursday nights. I mean, that's the whole reason we did it. So instead of having 1 3-hour meeting a week, we're having 2, except tonight, because Tucker's got a date or something.
I don't have anything. I have nothing.
But yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer. But I don't want that Thursday meeting to turn into a 6-hour meeting. You know what I'm saying? So I can see that possibly happening if we're not careful.
I had a good recommendation that, I mean, we could put it up for a vote, and we've got that shot clock over there. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
That everybody gets 5 minutes, and you can start and stop it
Yeah.
with 5, you know.
Yeah. So what are you trying to say?
Your 5 minutes is up.
Well, I think the idea though is to move it to like early afternoon. We would have our agenda presentations. I would be interested in putting public comment before our business meeting because I think it's incredibly distracting, and I think it could actually allow us to hear about things that are maybe relevant outside of the agenda if we had it as its own specific time period too. And then it would hopefully also not push us into the late evening as well. We would then hopefully be done with our business meeting within about an hour.
My thought is to have public comment, presentation first, then do the agenda session. Again, that way, like, you hear public comment before you even discuss an item. So you're getting information input from the public. Get through the agenda session, take a break, 10 minutes later, start the, you know.
So will we still have a 5:30 start or a 5 start?
I think we would do, you know, up to y'all, but I think it's a 4 or 4:30 start. And then, you know, to Sherry's point, I mean, if we put that it just starts immediately after, if we start at 5:15, we can start at 5:15.
So can I mention one more thing that we talked about that to me is important, and I want it since all of you are here, but I'm often, when it's these long meetings, incredibly appreciative of the staff that's here, but I often want to say, please go home. And so I think if you incorporate we want to hear from you. There's value to what you bring. We have questions, but from my understanding, Dr. Robertson is our employee, and you employ incredibly qualified people, and our commentary should mostly be coming from you. I think if we include you in the agenda, we can ask any questions or something like that, but I want to put that in there too, because.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying
Yeah.
that. So what, and I talked to, again, I think most, if not all of you about that, is, I was talking to Scott, in conversation with Scott about this, he was asking me why we have this, and my response was, I don't know.
We've always done it.
We
had
always
it.
have.
We
Well,
haven't
we've
always
always
done
done
it, but.
I think he said that we're the only district that has everybody here for every meeting. And so some of the thought processes is there'll be times where, you know, Robert really needs to be here. There'll be times where Mary Ellen, but if.
I want Robert here every
Yeah.
time.
We do the meeting, and get through the agenda session, and there aren't any questions that are of significance for, you know, one or all, then, you know, they would leave after the agenda session.
Yeah, I like it. I mean,
If there is no objection, that's something that me and, I won't be here, but I think it's probably smart to start it as a new board rolls
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, that's why I'm having conversations, so
Yeah.
there's two options, you and I mean, we could vote on it, but,
Yeah.
I mean, executive committee can do it, so you and I could decide to do it now, or we could wait till September 1st, and then Ms. Robinson actually takes over as chair for
Yeah.
17 days or so, until the board votes on it next year, but then Ms. Robinson and I could do it
Either
before
way.
that next
Yeah,
meeting.
Either way, maybe that could be your outcome.
And
Mr.
what-
Chairman,
Your gift-
I'd like
your
to see
gift to
the
us.
executive committee go ahead and act on that so that when the new board
Yes.
members are seated,
Right.
then we just stopped.
Yep.
Everybody understands.
Are we talking 4:30? Say 4:30?
Oh, yeah, you guys figure that out. I don't-
I would think that we probably need to like say 4 from, I don't know.
But I mean, I think we can talk and get a
But
schedule
public input,
from.
you're gonna need a little bit more time. So I think four-
Cause you want a little bit of break in there.
You'll
Yeah,
work
I think four, I think you have to start at 4:30 and, I mean, I'm sorry, 4 o'clock. That's what I would think. In order to allow public comment too.
And how we would set that up is we would do the first part as a work session.
Correct.
Since you're gonna have the speakers and the presentation, that won't be an actual part of the agenda business part.
Yes.
I like
You get
it.
those words mixed up.
Do it.
And like, at this point, we don't have anybody on the agenda to speak for September, correct? Because like, those
Well,
have
not
been
September,
established.
no,
Right,
but we do for
yeah.
August, yeah.
Great, so
Correct.
nobody would have to change.
Me and Dr. Robertson can do that, and then that will start for the September one. Any
That way
other?
we have somebody to blame.
Yeah, you can blame me.
I don't
You can blame
know.
me.
Chairman McClendon did that.
Move we
Awesome.
adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We're good?
Thank you.